The roar of the crowd turned to hushed murmurs as I approached the starting line, my heart pounding like a drum in my chest. "Look at her," a voice from the stands sneered, carrying over the tension-filled air. "That poor Muslim girl, all wrapped up, must be so oppressed by her family. How can she even compete like that?" The words hit me like a cold gust of wind, freezing me for a split second. I felt their eyes on my hijab, my long-sleeved uniform, judging me not as an athlete, but as a symbol of something they didn't understand. Little did they know, this race would shatter their illusions and reveal the truth I've carried all along. My name is Laila Khalid, and running has always been my escape, my passion, my way to connect with the world on my own terms. I grew up in a cozy suburb of Chicago, where the streets were lined with maple trees that turned fiery red in the fall, and the air smelled of fresh-cut grass in the summer. My parents came to America from Jordan when I was just a baby, seeking better opportunities, but they never let go of our faith. Dad worked as a mechanic, fixing cars with a quiet precision that I admired, and Mom was a teacher at the local mosque, instilling values of kindness and perseverance in her students. From a young age, they taught me that being Muslim wasn't about restrictions. It was about inner strength, about submitting to a higher purpose that gave life meaning. "Laila," Mom would say, her voice warm like the tea she brewed. "Allah gives us challenges to build our character, face them with dignity." I discovered track in elementary school during gym class. The moment my feet hit the pavement, I felt alive, the world blurring around me as I sprinted. By middle school, I was joining local races, my hijab pinned securely, my modest attire allowing me to move freely without compromising my beliefs. But even then, the judgment started creeping in. Kids at school would stare, whispering, "Why does she cover her hair? Her parents must make her." It stung, but I brushed it off, focusing on the thrill of crossing the finish line first. High school was where it really intensified. I tried out for the varsity team at Lincoln High, a sprawling campus with a state-of-the-art track overlooking the city's skyline. Coach Thompson, a gruff man with a clipboard always in hand, saw potential in me right away. "You've got speed, kid," he said after my trial lap. "Welcome aboard." My teammates were a mixed bunch. There was Sophia, a bubbly sophomore who became my fast friend, always sharing snacks and encouragement. Then there was Ethan, the team's joker, who treated everyone the same. But not everyone was so accepting. Chloe, the team's star sprinter, a senior with perfect ponytails and a competitive edge, took an immediate dislike for me. During our first practice, as we stretched on the grass, the sun warming our backs, she leaned over to her friend Olivia. "Doesn't that scarfy thing slow her down? It's like she's oppressed or something. Poor girl." I overheard, my cheeks burning, but I said nothing, tying my shoelaces tighter. Inside, I questioned myself. Why did my choice to wear hijab make them see me as weak? It was breathable, lightweight, designed for athletes, but to them it was a chain. The discrimination built slowly, like clouds gathering before a storm. In the locker room, where the air smelled of sweat and deodorant, girls would chat about parties and dates, but when I mentioned praying before meals, they'd exchange glances. "You can't eat pork? That sounds so restrictive," Olivia said once, her tone pitying. I explained calmly, "It's part of my faith. It helps me stay mindful and grateful." But the pity turned to isolation. Invites to team hangouts dried up, and during bus rides to meets, I'd sit alone, headphones in, listening to motivational podcasts about resilience. At home, I'd confide in my family. Dad would pat my back, his calloused hands rough from work. Mom would hug me, saying, "Kindness is your weapon, Laila. Respond with truth, not anger." One incident stands out vividly, escalating the emotional tension. It was during a regional meet in the spring, the track damp from morning rain, the scent of wet earth mixing with the excitement. I was set to run the 200-meter dash, my event of choice. As I warmed up, stretching my legs, feeling the muscles coil like springs, a group of spectators, parents from the opposing school, pointed at me. "That girl's oppressed. Why let her compete if she's not free?" Their words echoed in my mind as the race began. I ran hard, but the distraction cost me. I came in second, just behind Chloe. Afterward, in the tents where teams gathered, Chloe high-fived her friends. "See, told you that get-up holds her back." Tears pricked my eyes, but I held them back, walking away with my head high. That night, alone in my room, posters of Olympic runners on the walls, I cried into my pillow. Why did my faith make me a target? I prayed for guidance, feeling the peace wash over me, reminding me that true victory wasn't just on the track. As junior year rolled on, the conflict deepened. The school newspaper ran a feature on the team, but the writer focused on me as the hijabi runner overcoming cultural barriers. It was meant to be positive, but it reinforced the narrative. "Lila battles oppression to chase her dreams," the headline read. Students shared it online, comments pouring in. She's brave for defying her religion. Defying? It was the opposite. My religion empowered me. The unfair judgment spread to teachers too. My history teacher, Mr. Ellis, pulled me aside after class. "If you ever need help with personal issues, my door is open." His concern felt invasive, assuming I needed rescuing. I thanked him politely, but inside, frustration boiled. How could I prove them wrong without losing my composure? Supporting characters entered my life, adding depth to the struggle. My cousin Nadia, who lived nearby, became my confidant. She was older, studying at the university, and wore hijab too. We'd meet at the park, jogging together under the shady trees. "Layla, their ignorance is their problem, not yours," she'd say, her breath steady as we ran. "Use your talent to educate." Then there was Imam Ahmed at the mosque, a kind man with a gentle smile, who led youth groups. "Patience is key," he advised during a session, the room filled with a scent of incense. The prophet faced worse, and he responded with moral strength. Their words bolstered me, but the dilemmas grew. Should I speak out more, risk being labeled angry, or stay silent, letting misconceptions fester? The escalation came during summer training camp, a week-long intensive at a lakeside facility outside the city. The days were grueling. Early morning runs along misty paths, the lake shimmering in the dawn light, followed by drills under the hot sun. Chloe ramped up her comments. "How do you train during that fasting month? Sounds like self-torture." She said it during lunch, where I sipped water, explaining Ramadan again. "It's about discipline," I replied kindly. But one evening, as we sat around a campfire, flames crackling and stars overhead, things boiled over. Ethan made a joke about superheroes, and Chloe chimed in. "Layla's like a superhero, escaping oppression one lap at a time." The group laughed nervously. I felt a surge of hurt, but instead of snapping, I shared a story. "Actually, my faith gives me super strength. It teaches me to be kind, even when others aren't." The laughter died, and Sophia nodded. "That's cool, Layla." Chloe looked away, uncomfortable. That night in my bunk, the air heavy with mosquito repellent, I wondered if I'd planted a seed. Suspense built as the state championships loomed. I trained harder, my runs becoming meditations, each step a prayer. But fear gnawed. What if I choked under the pressure? Family support intensified. Amir, my little brother, drew me encouragement cards, stick figures of me winning. "You're the best, sis," he'd say, his eyes wide. Dad took time off to drive me to practices, offering tips from videos he'd watched. Mom prayed with me, her hands clasped. "Allah is with the patient," she'd remind. Yet, a moral dilemma arose. When Coach suggested I tone down my modesty for better aerodynamics, "Just a suggestion," he said. I refused, gently. "This is who I am, Coach. It doesn't slow me down." The neighbors added to the mix. Mrs. Johnson next door, usually friendly with her garden parties, started giving me odd looks after seeing the newspaper article. "If you need anything, dear," she'd say over the fence, implying help to escape. It was humiliating, but I responded with baked goods from Mom, saying, "We're doing great, thanks." Her surprise softened her stance a bit. Act Two's climax was a practice race where Chloe tripped me subtly during a handoff. I fell, scraping my knee on the track, the pain sharp. "Accident," she claimed, but I saw the intent. Lying there, dirt on my face, I felt the weight of all the judgments. Sophia helped me up. "Don't let her win off the track." I bandaged my knee, resolving to rise above. Finally, the state finals arrived. The stadium packed, the air electric with anticipation. Vendors sold hot dogs, the smell mixing with excitement. I warmed up, heart racing, reciting verses for calm. The 400-meter final, my event. Chloe and Lane next to me, smirking. "Ready to lose?" The gun fired. We bolted, the track pounding underfoot. First lap, she led, but I paced myself, drawing on faith's resilience. Crowd cheers blended with memories of slights. In the last 100, I surged, legs burning, spirit soaring. I crossed first, record-breaking time. The stadium exploded. Chloe congratulated me, eyes teary. "You were wrong. You're amazing." Coach hugged me. "You proved us all." Media interviewed, now calling me inspirational. Family rushed the field, tears of joy. I felt justice, empowerment. In the end, dignity won. I continue running, inspiring others, showing truth through kindness.